Hi, my name is Noah Wallace, and I'm a fourth-year computer science major with Threads in Intelligence and Devices at the Georgia Institute of Technology.
Hi, my name is Isaac King with Team TechTech. I'm a senior at Georgia Institute of Technology studying computer science, and my threads are artificial intelligence and media.
Hi, my name is Yejin. I'm a fourth year computer science major with intelligence and media thread.
And I'm Sam Wong. I'm a sophomore here at Georgia Tech with Threads in Intelligence and Info Networks, and this is our project, Video Conferencing End-to-End Encryption.
End-to-end encryption in video conferences has recently become more paramount than it ever has been. With the surge of COVID-19 cases, video conferencing is being utilized across the world as a means of safe and contact-free communication. Without proper end-to-end encryption, hackers can hijack calls and eavesdrop on sensitive information. Particularly in research and the medical field, it is important that participants' and patients' information is kept safe. For example, medical identity theft, healthcare data breach, and research theft can be the trigger for financial and legal disasters. Our goal is to create a platform specifically for researchers and participants to communicate with each other and share information safely.
And this is how our project addresses those problems that Noah just laid out. Our project is actually a web-based video conferencing app that will feature end-to-end encryption, and this is the feature that will be mainly solving security issues that were laid out before us, as it eliminates possibility of data theft, as hackers will not be able to just go into a Wi-Fi server and strip the data from that and gather fragile and sensitive information. Rather, they would have to have a public key, which is very hard to upon. And it also, this interface will allow for quick and easy communication between users, as it'll feature the web conferencing app so that our users will be able to talk to each other fast and efficiently. And also there will be a chat box feature which will allow them to have multiple ways of communicating, so that in case like people's videos are down, it'll still work. Meetings are only accessible by links, and this is another security feature that we have, as it just eliminates the possibility of, again, a person getting into a meeting that they're not supposed to be in, as they have to have the link. It's the only access point to the meeting is through the one link, and users must sign in to use the platform. And by that we mean for meeting scheduling, requesting, and getting the emails from the people who schedule the meetings. So this is just another way of us eliminating the possibility of a hacker being able to get in to the system.
We are currently working on end-to-end encryption with a founder of StudyFind, which is a platform that implements technological innovations in the research and academic field. The application intends to help researchers to collect data from participants around the world, as well as clinicians to provide medical help to the patients who are not able to meet them in person. Participants and patients can also be benefited by receiving medical advice when needed, and they can also help researchers to accomplish their studies without having to travel.
Yeah, so for this project, we took an iterative approach to design. So we basically had three big phases in the first part of this project. First, we created a solid foundation of knowledge and information that we gathered from different client meetings, where we found out what the client wanted from this product, what are possible ideas that he had, or possible ideas that he didn't want us to produce, even though we had thought of them. We also did our own individual research, which included watching YouTube videos or searching on articles about end-to-end encryption, looking through APIs that are possible to implement end-to-end encryption in. And then the next phase of our design was to identify the big problems, or the bigger issues of our product would have to be. And this was mainly done through user research, where we were asking our client about what they thought was the biggest things, different users. We surveyed them to see what their biggest problems with a video conferencing app was, and we took that information and we put them into categories, and we identified our main problems. And then we went into the last phase of design, which was creating the solution and designing it in phases. So we took an iterative approach of that, in which we drafted our user stories and scenarios, identifying different types of users and different ways they could use our platform. And then we drafted that, and we went through peer review to make sure that everything made logistical sense. And then we presented to our client, and they gave us feedback on it. And from there, we finalized the user stories in that iteration. And then from the user stories, we built our initial prototype, which then was peer reviewed and client reviewed. And then we produced a more revised and finalized prototype, which then we did our UX report on, which further analyzed our design, and which we're still working on because it is still an iterative approach and we're still perfecting our solution.
During our research, we surveyed 88 individuals in total. 95% of potential users have video calling experience and a reliable internet connection. 65% of potential research participants wish to connect to correspondents through a secure virtual environment. 85% of patients would like to connect to clinicians through a secure virtual environment, and half of the researchers that we surveyed would like to connect to research participants through a secure virtual environment. Some of the most common issues that users face during video calls are having drop calls and bad video quality. And some of the most common features users would like to see are Zoom-like features and chat integration.
One of the most valuable lessons I learned this semester is how crucial it is to stay in close contact with your client and check in with them regularly, because keeping them updated on your progress and getting feedback from them is irreplaceable information and will always improve their satisfaction with the resulting product. For example, your client may want to change the product by removing or adding a feature, or you might have improvement suggestions yourself, which you might want to extend to your client. So in the long run, staying in close contact with them will always guarantee a higher quality product in the end. Another important thing I've learned this semester is how beneficial careful planning can be for projects of any size. For example, the user scenarios and prototyping helped me understand how our project should look and function, and it also helped me recognize flaws in our product, and in turn, we were able to make it more user-friendly and to also guarantee a higher quality product in the end.
These courses taught me how to effectively manage and accomplish a semester-long project by planning ahead and tracking progress. I was also able to enhance my ability to communicate, identify, develop, and document the needs of the project requirements through different formats such as vision statement, story mapping, user stories, etc. Each assignment guided me to have a better picture of customer needs and wants in order to deliver the best outcome possible. Overall, this course has been a great opportunity to share diverse perspectives among peers and refine my understanding through discussions and feedback.
Here are some of my key takeaways from this course. In terms of project management, I learned how to work collaboratively with my peers and how to take responsibility for the continuous documentation of our progress over the course of 3 months. Additionally, I learned key principal design elements to present high quality work in a consistent manner and deliver a working design centered around equity and accessibility. Finally, I learned how to collect, evaluate, and display technical information in a clear and concise and purposeful way to a range of audiences.
Here's what I personally learned over this last semester. I learned about the different types of client to team interactions, where we use like Slack and email for small clarifications or idea bouncing, and we use video conferencing for more in-depth conversations on the product. Maybe when we're using like our peer prototype and we're presenting him stuff, we need to use the video conferencing. Next thing I learned was that user stories are definitely focused on solely what the user is interacting with rather than what the system is doing. Typically, I've learned that you could do like system-to-system interactions, but in this class, I learned that your user stories should definitely focus on user interactions, which led into the benefits of paper prototyping. It's just like something I never thought of for software that we had to use like a paper to prototype our stuff, but it's actually really beneficial to see how the user will interact with the interface and what they think the logic should be for each of your buttons, and that way you can implement it in your design to make the design more seamless for the user to use.
Hello, this is a brief demonstration of the code we have written for the StudyFind website, where we will integrate the scheduling of studies. So here is the main menu for the StudyFind available research studies. I just have 2 different headings, and I have a grid layout which displays the available studies in a list format, and next to each study we'll have a schedule button. So when a schedule button is clicked, then we'll have the schedule meeting page load up, which is found here. So let's open up this page now. This is our home menu, and when we press the schedule button, we're taken to schedule a meeting page. Once you land on the schedule a meeting page, you'll find that each of the text fields have a red border around them. That is to let you know that these fields are incomplete. So once you complete each field, then you'll notice that the border turns green. So let's say if we try to confirm a meeting now, we find that this field is incomplete. We also address issues where an incorrect email address is placed. So I'll put in a temporary email here. Here. And here.